My name's Aaron Drew. I was born in West London. Um, I started an organisation called Men Don't Walk Alone. And to be fair with you, it's exactly what it says on the tin. Being a person who's dealt with mental health issues, suicide in the family, suicide within friends, a lot of man issues, so to speak. I feel like I need to be able to do something, because being a person that has felt the pain that is caused by an event such as suicide made me think, if I could stop one person from obviously doing that, if I can stop one person, I feel like I've achieved something. Me, unfortunately, didn't have someone that my father could have spoke to maybe have changed his mind, so he could be here with his family now. So that's the be all and end all. Basically, I'm not a counsellor, never stated to be a counsellor. I'm an emotional person just like yourself, and I've just been through a lot. So this is my chance to try and have a conversation with you lot, if you understand, and it may help someone. I really appreciate it. Appreciate you taking any time out just to watch a video that I'm putting up, because this is a very hard thing for me to be able to do. But before I start talking, let's get into some questions. So the question is, you've said your struggles go a long way back. When did you first realise that something wasn't right for you emotionally? So, early days in my life, I thought it was normal. My mum, bless her, she tried her best, but when you're brought up on, I think it was £26 a month, or £26 a week, I think. When you was brought up on that, and everyone around you was, I guess it just becomes the normal. So to me, I wouldn't say I had a bad childhood. My mum loved to drink. This was as far as I knew when I was young. She liked a little bit of a drink. She liked to party. Because obviously, not having my father in the picture at the time, I was still seeing him on weekends, but not having my father there as like a permanent person was, I guess, impacting my mum's lifestyle, so to speak. So things went a bit skewy. The first times I can remember having any issues with my mental health was, I believe, because I was in school still, so I believe I was about 14 or 15 years old. From obviously birth till about 15 years old, it was me and my mum. My dad was out of the picture. My mum was a single woman. The occasional date here and there, like the occasional man pop in here and there in like the 12 years or whatever it was. But then she met a man, and she had children. Long story short, she got twins. She was pregnant with twins, and then unfortunately an umbilical cord got wrapped around a baby's neck, and one of the babies didn't survive. So that was like being 15-year-old, going to a funeral with a coffin that was like a 2-foot coffin. It looked like a toy. To see something like that was pretty disheartening, and pretty, it broke me, if I'm honest with you. That's the first time I remember anything along them kind of lines happening. Do you know what I mean? But after that, I think I just had enough. I cut my father off when I was 15 years old. Around the same time, he was a father to two different families. Not at the same time, he wasn't like that, but he was two different fathers to two different families. So to my family, he made a lot of mistakes. These would have been his words. I'm going to say it in the most politest way that I can. He made a lot of mistakes. At the age of 7 years old, my age, they broke up. My mum and my father, they broke up. Which obviously he then got a new partner, married her, had another child, and kind of tried to become the person. Sorry, my legs are fidgeting. Tried to become the person that he couldn't become when he was with us. That's what he said to me. That's what he's told me, is that the mistakes that he made with us, he wouldn't make with his new family. I don't want to make him sound bad, because I'm not. I'm not trying to make him sound bad. But he wasn't a very nice person. So, when stuff started happening with the loss of my brother, it just threw a curveball in. I didn't want to do anything. I'm sure that if my teachers could say something, they'd agree that about 15, 16 years old, I just went off the rails. I met up with, I'm not saying names or anything, but I met up with some Kosovan lads that I used to go to school with at the time. Got introduced into selling drugs, which was funny enough because at home, all of my friends were taking drugs. So I was going to school, getting that, bringing it home, earning some money, 20, 30 quid a day. It wasn't much, do you know what I mean? Started doing that, started being a rebel, started round with my mum. Any opportunity that I could, I'd kick off. I was a right cunt, if I'm honest with you. They were the early days. They was the days, as I say. I regret them days, because it's a very hard thing to be a cunt. Sorry, I beat that. To be one of them people, and then when you grow up, you realise all the bad that you've done. And I love my mum. I love my mum more than I love fucking a beat again. I love my mum more than I love life in itself. I also love my daughter, and we'll get on to that situation in a minute. So that's my early days. Let's get through a few more questions, because I have a lot of questions. Not a lot, but yeah. It says, did you feel like you had anyone you could really talk to back then? Yes and no. I had a good group of friends. Around me, and I'm still a very good friend with one of them nowadays. His name's Danny. His name will probably come back up into the story a bit more. But I had him, and he was pretty similar to myself, without talking about his story, because maybe one day Danny might want to tell his story. Very similar. That's why we were such good friends. We both come from nothing. We both had nothing, and we made a lot from what we didn't have. Do you know what I mean? He was there for me emotionally. He was a man that I'd give a cuddle to, and then he'd tell me to fucking grow up, you cunt, or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So he was genuinely a good friend. But having someone to talk to and having someone to lean on is two different things. And I don't think that anyone really understood. I did try to talk to my mum, but it wasn't my mum's side that it wasn't working, it was my side. I don't feel like I could actually get get it out. I couldn't talk like how I can talk now. I'm 38 years old and I get told I'm like an old soul in a young. I feel like I get told I'm a old soul in a young body. I've had some growing up to do over the years, and it's made me realise a lot, obviously. But yes, I didn't have no one. Didn't have no one to talk to. We had youth clubs we could go to. Most youth clubs, you was talking to females and impressing people, writing lyrics or doing whatever you was doing, which I distanced myself from a bit, but I was there because of the stuff I was going through. I didn't find that appetising. I felt it more appetising to go out and get pissed out of my face and start fights, if I'm honest with you. If you know me, you know what I was like as a kid. But nowadays I'm a completely different man. I'm leading off track as per usual. So let's start with another question. Says you lost your brother at a young age. How did that loss change you? I've kind of gone over that a minute ago. It was one of the hardest things that I went through because I'd never experienced grief. I'd never experienced the pain that I felt then before. It wasn't something that was on the table. There wasn't nothing that I ever. My family is, as much as my family's massive, my family is very small. There's always my mum, me, my auntie, her children. A very small percentage of our family actually stuck together. The rest branched off into all these different places and become who they did and become these people that are my family, but I don't talk to them no more. But yeah, it changed me. I've already gone over that. I'm not going to get back into it again. It says losing your father to suicide was a huge moment in your life. How did that affect you, and especially not having closure? Was there anger mixed with grief? So leading up to my father killing himself, I was a recluse. Cut myself out from everything. I used to go and see a friend and just sit around a friend's house from about 10 o'clock during the day until about 7 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock at night, and then go home. And I'd do that every single day. Bearing in mind I was about 21 at that time. It was a bit of a mad situation. So I'm going to explain this situation. I've never told anyone about this. When I found out that my father had passed away, I was at home. I was at home. My mum had gone. We used to have a caravan in Hayling Island. My mum was in a caravan in Hayling Island. That was very rude, I know, but I was in my mum was at a caravan in Hayling Island, and I got a phone call about 8 o'clock in the morning. It was from my friend, the person that I normally go around his house. He normally waked up about 10 o'clock, sorry. He'd normally wake up, but he called me about 8 o'clock in the morning and he said, you'll come over, come see me, whatever. Basically, the same phone call that I'd get at 10 o'clock, apart from he phoned me at about 8 o'clock in the morning. So I lived 5 minutes from him. I could have probably thrown a stone at his house. So I grabbed all my stuff on, went over there, sat down in the front room in his bedroom, and I remember sitting down in the bedroom and going to roll myself up a joint, and he's standing behind me. Now obviously it's early in the morning, my mind's all over the shop, do you know what I mean? I didn't, not to do with anything else, because there wasn't anything else going on. So it was, he was standing behind me, and And I looked at him and said, "Are you all right? Is everything all right?" And his response was, "I'm sorry, bro." He said, "It's only a rumour, but apparently your dad's dead." And I remember that, the biggest lump in my throat. I remember that, and got very defensive at first and just said, "What do you mean? Who's told you this?" Or whatever. Bless him, that must have been the hardest thing for him to ever do. And if you're watching this, brother, I appreciate you, I really do. Because that could have gone a whole different way. Yeah, so he said to me, "It's only a rumour, but your old man might be dead." So I asked him who told him. He said a name which was a mutual friend between my family and then my friend's family. He was a good close friend of my dad's. So I said straight away, "Call him." I said, "I want to know, call him." The rest is a little bit of a blur, but I'm sure that they called him. But I remember the minute that I said that, the door opened up and I've turned my head and his mum's there. God bless you. Lovely woman, you are really a lovely woman. She was standing at the door. She burst through the door and she just gave me a cuddle. And she hugged me. Sorry. She hugged me and she said, "I'm sorry, I'm so sorry." And yeah, she was on the phone. My apologies. She was on the phone. She was on the phone to my mum at the time. So she's obviously come in. My mum being in Hayling Island, I'm in London. The plan was for them to obviously get me in a safe place, to tell me the news before I found out on Facebook or something. I love you for that. I love you both for that. Yeah, don't never forget that. But yeah, now there's one detail to this whole situation. I went round to my nan's the next day. That's my dad's mum. I went round to her house that next day. I remember walking in, and everyone's obviously just found out. And I said, "What's happened? What's gone on? What happened?" I was told that he was found on the floor at his front door. So assuming that he'd had a heart attack or something. My dad had a very bad ticker. All he'd ever moan about, "Oh, me heart." Did love a bevy, but he'd always say about his heart, "Oh, me heart, bit of heartburn." Oh, so when they said that he was found at the front door, I believed that he had a heart attack. It was my first thought. That was genuinely my first thought. Now, about 2 days have passed. My good friend Danny, that I mentioned earlier, there's going to be a lot in this story, a lot of Danny. Danny come round to see me, and he walked in and gave me a big cuddle. He said, "You'll be alright, bruv," and all of this. And then he said, "But it's mad." He said, "I'm so sorry to hear that your father killed himself." And my response straight away was, "What the fuck are you talking about? My father didn't kill himself." And Dan being so genuine, the genuine person that Dan is, I think I put colour in, like took the colour out of his face, of him realising that he'd told me something that maybe I didn't know. I was about 24 at this time. So I got told that. I said to him, "Who told you?" He said, "Matt. Matt's his uncle. Matt was my dad's best friend, regardless. I know I've seen more of Matt's face than I did of any other person growing up, so I know that Matt was like his best mate. He told me Matt told him. So the first thing that I'd done was called my nan or one of my aunties and said, why didn't anyone tell me that my father had killed himself? Their response to me was, we was trying to protect you. I was a 24-year-old man who just believed that my father had died of a heart attack. Previously to that, just chucked in the middle, as you do, I'd probably lost about 4 friends from suicide. By the 3rd friend, I was very disappointed in them. I know it takes a different person to kill themselves. They say this. Even the person that spoke to my father a couple of days before said he wasn't himself. I know this, but I was very disappointed in people to hear that a friend had killed themselves. And I'm like, what the fuck? If I could have had a conversation with him, if I could have had a joint with him, if I could sit him down, this wouldn't have happened. And I know a lot of people think like this, but that's how I was through my friends doing it. And like I say, to find out then, off of a good friend of mine, that my father had killed himself, when they say you chucked a spanner in the works, you chucked a toolbox in the engine, that's what you've done. Because everything that I'd dealt with, everything that I'd struggled to deal with, everything come back. Even the stuff with my little brother, everything come back. And I didn't get the closure of my father. I didn't get the funeral I wanted. I was told that I could be a coffin bearer. I got told I could go and see my dad. None of that happened. Funeral was organised without me knowing when and where, and down to protect other family members or whatever. There was his other side of his family, and it was it was an empty funeral practically. So my mum, God bless her, she had a funeral like a funeral thing, closure thing for me, set up in my local church. And I remember I walked in there and there's a picture of him. I like to try and say goodbye to a picture. That was a very, very hard thing. And as I said, it started everything again. It just it was years later, and it just was another kick up my arse, so to speak. Over all of these years of losing friends, I had enough. And to be fair with you, I'd attempted many times not trying to be there. I've overdosed, I'd taken loads of drugs and just woke up the next day. Nothing was good enough for me because I wasn't ever good enough for anything. I think that was a kicker for me. But everything was just getting taken away from me, and I didn't understand it, and it messed my head up. So I turned to more harder drugs and more drink. I was just drink. And I'm talking about from, I think it was from like my 24th birthday or something like that. My 24th till like the 26th or something. Like everything was just all over the shop for me. Wasn't very stable as is. I wasn't very stable as is, but I went through some stuff that obviously was a shock to my system, so to speak. And yeah, so I didn't deal with my father's suicide very well. I was still grieving it, and I'm still grieving it now. It's over 10 years later and I'm still grieving it. But yeah, let's start with some more questions. It says, meeting your partner was a turning point. How did your relationship begin to change things for you? So, when me and Victoria got together, um, I was still lost, but I was distant from everyone. I remember cutting myself out from a lot of people. Um, Stuff was happening that I can't really talk about, to be honest with you. Um, I was very mischievous. I was out there making money any way that I can, if I'm honest with you. But then I met Victoria, and Victoria kind of changed a lot of that for me. It was the first woman that I met that I wanted to go legit for. If you don't understand that, you won't understand that. But my mindset then, before Victoria, was money. I needed money. And after Victoria, when I met Victoria, it was, I need legit money. Together for 2 years. 2 years, something like that. And then I got told one day, out of the blue, she just comes walking in and she said, I'm pregnant. And I never thought it'd ever happen. You go back to when I was younger, I thought I would either be dead or dead. There was no in jail for me. I never thought I'd handle jail or anything like that. I just thought I'd be dead or dead. You know what I mean? So, I found out that I was going to have a little daughter. And that little girl officially changed Daddy's life. Like, I'll get into something in a minute. The really hard part for me is coming up in a minute. But that girl, my baby, she's changed me in more ways than you'd ever understand. And she's saved me. She's officially saved me. We did, bub. I promise you. She's never going to experience that pain, that grief, that question, that wondering why someone done something and never being able to understand. She's not going to do it. So I will forever be a pain in her ass till I'm no longer here. Like a dad's meant to be. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to embarrass the hell out of her. But I want to see her walk down the aisle in her wedding dress. And I make that promise to myself. There's one promise I can't break. Not for my daughter. But yeah, she saved me. She really did. I don't know what more I can say about that situation. It's a bit of a hard one for me. But you'll get into it soon. You'll understand why. If your younger self could hear you now, what would you let him know? If I'm honest with you, if I could tell my younger self something else to make him understand, it'd have to only be one thing, and it might sound horrible. The one thing that I'd tell myself, if I could speak to the younger version of me again, is that it doesn't end. There isn't no end to a man's mental health. There's never no end to the questions. There's never no end to the who, whats and whys. And perfect example for me is that when I become a father, there were certain questions that I needed to ask, whether it be, is it normal for me to feel this way with my daughter? do I wake up at night time and feed her even though I'm working? Any question that it could have been, didn't have that person to ask. So that was my real kicker. That was when I started realising I really did miss my father, was when I had her. And then obviously revealing everything to my mum, telling my mum that we had a baby on the way was like most amazing thing ever. Most amazing thing ever. And I didn't get to do that with my father because obviously he wasn't here no more. But the way that I see it is that she truly saved me. She was there to give me some guidance. She was there to make Daddy grow up, pull his socks up, and become the man that I've always wanted to be, if that makes sense. The person that she's always deserved. But yeah, if I could tell my younger self something, it would be, it doesn't end. Just get used to it. That's why they say men don't talk, we don't open up our emotions, because you don't. And this is what I want to do something about. I want to be able to stop the stigma of you're weak if you're talking. You're not weak if you're talking. You're weak if you don't talk. You don't say something to someone, you're weak, right? The way I've always seen it with my father was the manliest man going. He'd scare me, he'd pull over people in the car and punch their head in, and he was a bit of a bully, can't lie, but he was a man's man. He used to go to work every single day, his hands felt like fucking 120 grit sandpaper. It was a different time. But for him to do something like that wasn't expected. I never expected him to ever do anything like that. He must be stupid. I thought that he might die in an accident where he's ended up getting stabbed by someone or whatever. I used to go to football matches with his bloody metal toe cap boots on. With me at 7-year-old, 8-year-old, I didn't know the difference. I didn't know why he was wearing his boots. I thought, oh, they keep his feet warm, and then they'd dump me off in the pub after the football match and go off. Come back with his face smashed in. Men, wasn't it? That's how men was then. But yeah, that's the one thing I'd say to my younger version before I get chucked off track. Let me see if there's anything else. It says, is there anything you want people to understand about you or this journey that we haven't covered? Let me have a sip of my tea, my coffee. If I'm honest with you, the thing that I want to do over the social medias, in real life, one-to-one meetings, all of this kind of stuff, is I want to just bring some awareness. I want to it's 2026. By the middle of 2026, I want to be able to have started up like a safe place, not a youth centre, so to speak, man centre, an emotion centre, whatever. It's somewhere that men can either go and sit in silence, or you can talk to each other. We can organise walks, we can go out. It's going to start with 1 or 2 people. And as I've said, my apologies, as I've said, that's what I want. I want men to be able to come together. If you ever feel low, if you're feeling depressed, if you're feeling sad, if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling tired, you're not the only person. Me, myself, feel exactly the same. So this is where this next part's going to come into it. And I shouldn't really be talking about this because I don't know how far this is going to go. But my mum for the past year, 2 years, 3 years, probably 4 years, since my daughter was born, my mum's been diagnosed with pulmonary fibrosis and heart issues. She started a chemo infusion beginning of the year, I think it was, or maybe halfway during the year, to try and improve her lungs, to try and get her breathing capacity back to normal. My mum's breathing capacity is about 26%. Don't want to get into details. But right, so my mum's not very well, and we all try and keep strong for her, obviously. But the chemotherapies, the chemo infusion is now making her worse. And they're looking at lung transplants. They're looking at a few different options of how they're going to be able to do something, and obviously, hopefully, definitely, we're going to get something done. We're going to look on the positive side, and we're going to do something about it, because I don't want to lose my mum. Don't want to. I'm selfish. If this is me being honest with you right now, I don't want to lose my mum. But with it being inevitable that one day this may happen, I told you at the beginning of the story, me and my mum are like two peas in a pod. She is my friend. She is my rock. You understand what I mean when I say she is my rock? And it could be any day that you get that phone call, especially with how bad that she is. And if I didn't have my daughter, the high chances is probably about 99.9% that I'd be joining her. If I was to find out that something bad had happened tonight, I would be with her tomorrow night, if that makes sense. But I have a daughter, and I can't put my daughter through what I've been through. So this is part of the reason why I'm trying to bring some awareness, is that behind closed doors, there's a lot going on. And I understand that. Being a man that has a lot going on behind closed doors, I understand that. But I want you lot to understand, you're not the only people. You're not the only person. You're not weak for talking up. You're not weak for branching out. You're human. That's what a lot of us get caught up in. We become robot. We become work, not enjoy family. Work, don't enjoy your family. Go out on the weekends, get on the blast with the boys and get fucked up and come back. Work, moan at the family. Yeah, I ain't allowed my own time. Every moment of my life is now devoted to my family. I got diagnosed with blood cancer at the beginning of the year, beginning of 2025. I got bacterial pneumonia in my lungs from human feces, because I used to work on drains. I was doing drain work. I got bacterial pneumonia, which turned into something else, and then I got diagnosed basically with blood cancer, and I had to watch myself for the first 4 months. I lost 4.5 stone. 4.5 stone dropped off of me. I don't have anything on me as it is. 4.5 stone. I look like a drug addict. I look like 50 Cent when he prepared for that cancer film. I dropped all my weight. My cheeks were in. It was bad. But I then basically promised myself and promised my daughter and promised my family that I wouldn't leave. You know how hard it was to get told this in a hospital. Before I'm about to leave the hospital, might add, just as a little FYI, that's what they done. Pulled me in a room before I left Just for your information, your blood cells ain't looking very good. Your platelets are high and you're creating cancerous blood cells. So I said, does that mean I've got blood cancer? She said, it's the start of blood cancer. She said, this is the reason why you lost all of your weight. Is that your body's gone into fight or flight. And luckily your body's fighting. That was their words. So I had to get on with it. I had to carry on a blood test. Every week I'm down the hospital. I got closer with my daughter and I realised that I didn't care about working. I didn't care about money coming in. I didn't care about anything else. I cared about time with my daughter. You see all these posts all the time and it says when something happens, Joe, you're replaced within 48 hours in your job, or your job's listed up and within 48 hours and somebody replaces your boots and they do all of this kind of stuff. But then your family are going to feel that grief. And as I've said to you, it's been over 10 years since I lost my father. I've never got over it. Never got over it. But I'm trying. And I'm trying to stay as positive as I can. Because as I said, I started this movement, this organisation, just to try and make a difference. And if I can make a difference, one person's life, two people's life, even if I make someone reconsider doing it this week, I've always got next week, and then the week after, and the week after. It's not take your advice and just feel better forever. It's just 1 week at a time. It's just 1 day at a time. It's even 1 hour at a time. If you ever feel like you're in a bad state and that you've had enough, you call someone, you speak to someone. You don't call up and say, I'm sorry, I'm done with life, and then do what you need to do. Call someone. Genuinely call someone. Call us suicide prevention. Call whatever you can. There'll be a number down below in these comments. Call whoever you need to call. Because you actually mean the world to someone. Like genuinely, you. Just you. I know that you're sitting there thinking, nah, not me. Yeah, you, mate. Even if it's that one fella that you have a chat with down a pub. That distant family. You know how hard it is to miss someone that's not here. I can miss someone that's here. I can miss my daughter. Oh, I miss her so much. And then when she comes back, I give her a big cuddle. It make me feel better. If you miss someone and you can't never put your hands on them again. At one point in my life, I earned a lot of money from doing whatever I was doing. I would have traded every single penny, absolutely everything, for 5 minutes with my dad. Before I had my daughter, I would have given my whole life up for 5 minutes with my dad. Just to close my eyes and feel his stubble rub on my face. To feel him, to smell him. Just to do that doesn't make me weak. It makes me fucking human. It makes me emotional. It makes me a person. I miss the only man in my fucking life that wanted me to do better than him. The only man. The same as I want my daughter to be better than her mother, to be better than me, to be better than my fucking family. Do you know what? I just want to do something. I can't just sit back and watch stuff happen no more. It's not in me. Something's happened in the last 3-4 months and I've thought, this is my reason for being here. This is my purpose. So if you ever need a shoulder to lean on, if you ever need anything, get in contact with me. I can help you get in the right direction. I'm not a counsellor. I'm a man that's got his own fucking issues. Yeah. I just don't want anyone to go through what I've been through. Because it is the worst thing in the world. Just because his pain's gone didn't mean that the pain had gone. it passed it on to me, to my sister, sorry, to his mum, to my family. It's a vicious circle. And then I could have carried on. I would have done the same thing. And then everyone grieves me. I can't do anything like that no more. I have a daughter. I have the best thing in my world, an actual blessing. Never thought I'd have children at all. Now I have a little girl that looks at me like I am the best thing in this world. Do you know how that makes me feel? That's the reason why I do it. That is the reason why I do it. So my daughter understands. But yeah. I just want to do this. Let me think. I just want the stigma to be gone. So all I can really say at the moment is thank you all so much for listening. If you got this far, don't even know what you've been doing. You deserve a Blue Peter badge or something. Because if you got right to the end and you've listened to me pile out my heart, thank you very much. Because I don't know who you are. You might have needed to hear something like this. You may be feeling the same way. We're all going through it, aren't we? But I really appreciate everyone for listening, for taking your moment, taking your time to listen to this video. It wasn't 2 minutes long, was it? So I greatly appreciate everyone that has. As I've said, Chai, if you have any issues, if you have any problems, feel free to reach out. Even if it's just fucking whatever, I'll help you. Whatever it is. I ain't got a penny in my pocket. I've got a big heart. And big men cry too as well. You know what I mean? That's what my friend said to me when he told me about my dad passing away. Big men cry too, and I bawled my eyes out. I promise you that. But thank you for listening. Thank you very much. God bless, and I'll be seeing you guys around. Thank you very much.